Hey, what's up, guys? Today is New Gun Day, so I wanted to bring you guys along with a kind of an unboxing and a small shooting review and some comparisons. Today I picked up a new gun, and I'll show it to you guys. It is a new Smith & Wesson M&P Compact. This particular model is the 11677. So for some reason that was marked LEO, so I don't know if it's kind of like their Glock Blue Label program. But the way this is equipped is it came with 3 magazines, came with 4 back straps, just like normal, but it came with the frame-mounted safety as well as night sights on this model. So it's kind of like a rarity, I guess. Whenever you look up online, you can get the thumb safety or you can get night sights, but for some reason, I guess, I don't know if this is the one they market that's kind of like their Blue Label program like Glock or whatever, but it did come with 3 magazines and equipped this way. So in the box you get obviously the gun, 3 mags that I've already loaded up here in anticipation of shooting it because I can't wait, and 2 extensions there for the 17 round magazines, which could be the standard 1.0 17 round magazines fit in there, and then this is a little filler you get to kind of complete the grip on the end or whatever, to take up that space for the gap in the magazine. So what I was going to do is I'll take this out of the box here and kind of compare it with its closest competitors, size-wise and everything like that. But the gun itself the stippling on it is very aggressive. You know, I heard people comment on that. Some say it's a little too much, where they seem to shave it down a little bit on the body side if you conceal carry it to not irritate your skin. I always wear an undershirt, so I don't think that's going to bother me too much. I have the medium grip on it, the one that came in the box on it, and fitting in my hand, it feels really good. I actually already tried a couple of those grips, and the medium large seems to feel really good too with the little beaver tail. It just seems it has a spacer up here, which I feel puts my hand back just a little bit too far. So when we shoot it, we're gonna try it out with this one first. Like I said, it's just standard operation. The trigger, I do have an Apex kit coming. Unfortunately, Brownell sent me a coupon late last night to get 10% off from them, so I went ahead and got a forward, I think it's forward sear set or something like that, the flat aluminum trigger from Apex, so that's coming. It'll be here probably in a week or so, and then I'm anxious to shoot that. Every review I've seen on that says it's really nice. It takes up a lot of the pre-travel, your slack here, because it does have quite a bit of slack coming up, but the trigger is actually pretty good. I did shoot the original 1.0s, and I was less than impressed with the trigger on them, which really kept me from buying in those. I'm not big on replacing triggers, but I want to give that Apex a try, especially with this thumb safety. I've carried a 1911 in the past. In fact, I dedicated about a year of carry, took some classes with a 1911, and I'm not opposed to a good thumb safety, like 1911 style. And this seems to be good. Like I said, we'll go shoot it and see what I feel after I shoot it. I did already get the plugs from Smith & Wesson that removes these. So if you do get a thumb safety model, they're kind of modular in a sense. It can be easily removed, and Smith & Wesson will send you the plugs. Apparently they don't send them out for free anymore. They changed their policy, so it cost me about $12. It was like $6 and $6 shipping for the little inserts that fill that hole once you pull that safety out. So I do have the stuff here. If I don't like the thumb safety, I can easily remove it, but I'm going to give it a go here first to see if I can get used to that on a striker-fired gun, and especially with the Apex trigger change. I think it'd be kind of nice, you know, to run it as a thumb safety if you're losing that pre-travel and everything. I'm not going to lighten the safety. I'll run the heavy springs with it, but we'll see how that turns out. But anyways, the trigger here, like I said, you got a lot of take-up pre-travel, and it does have kind of that really curved, you know, M&P Smith & Wesson famous trigger there, and a lot of people don't like that. I haven't shot it yet. It feels a little different in the hand, like I said, especially if you're used to something else, Glock, something like that. It does feel kind of funky with that trigger moving as you're pulling back. It does get to a wall there, and after the wall, see, it's got a little bit of creep and then a pretty clean break. So there's not much creep there. There's a little bit, but it's not horrible. Reset is nice and positive, and you can hear it. The old M&Ps, the reset was pretty much non-existent. This one, like I said, from there, you're pretty much back on the wall, and you pull it. So it's actually got a decent trigger. I would say, you know, definitely serviceable trigger and reset. So not bad. Like I said, grip feels good. You know, we're going to go shoot that, try the safety. I was going to compare it with its closest competitors here. This is a Glock Gin 5. This particular one already has an RMR mounted. But when you compare them size-wise, I mean, they're almost, get them here. Every comparison I've seen, they're almost identical as far as slide length. If I can get them lined up here. I mean, slide length, if one's bigger, I mean, you're really just shaving hairs. It would be by, you know, 1/10 of an inch or something. It's really close. Height-wise, I believe same thing. If I can line them up here. Same thing. Once the Smith & Wesson has that little tool that pokes out, but once the magazine's there, it fills that solid. So with the Glock magazine sticks out. So with mag in both guns, it's going to be, I mean, right there. Like I said, you're just splitting hairs at that point if one was taller or not. This is a Gen 4 Glock that doesn't have an RMR, so it might be a little better comparison, a little easier to see the actual comparison there, where if you line it up, see, it just about can hide, you know, behind a Glock. It's got just a little bit different lines to it, but as you can see, I mean, it's right there. Whereas opposed to an HK, this is the VP9. This has an RMR as well, but you know, slide-wise, they're pretty close. But see, if we line them up butt to butt there, we're getting a little more length out of the VP9, and also height. These VP9s are kind of tall on the grip, almost a Glock 17-ish. So if you can see an angle there, you see the difference in the grip. And as far as concealed carry goes, that's the hardest part to hide of the gun. Even if this barrel was, say, 5 inches long, like a Glock 34, it's not so much the barrel it's hard to hide, it's the grip is what gives you your printing. So VP9 does have a bigger grip on it. So that's, like I said, the closest competitors, I would say, or at least that I own. You got the CZP-10, stuff like that, the Walthers and everything else. But that's kind of I'll show you the sights there. It does come with the night sights, 3-dot night sights. And I'm not a big fan of 3 dots. If I don't RMR this, I'll probably order a 10-8 tactical blacked out rear with the U-shape cut in the back. I like those for shooting. I just don't like the dots in the rear. It's kind of distracting for me. I've been shooting black sights for so long that dots kind of get distracting when I come up for my sight picture. I don't like to see those dots. I like to have a hard focus on the front sight and just have a little gap or channel to line that up. So those will probably be swapped out if I don't RMR it. And then if I do, I'll go suppressor sights. So I did pick up a couple extra mags for it. I did pick up one full-size 17-round mag that will shoot with the little spacer on it. And then I got a couple more. So what I'll do now off camera is I'll load these up. We'll go out back and we'll ring some steel on it. And I'll show you the first magazine shot through this thing. I got 2 mags filled up with some hollow point, some Federal 115 grain high shot, jagged hollow point. So there's 30 rounds. Or actually, I think there's 29 rounds. One mag has 14 in it. And oh, that's another thing I was going to show you too, is with a full mag, one of these has 15 in it, I believe. Yeah, this one's got a full mag. So with the completely full mag, slide closed, magazine insertion isn't bad. So that's one advantage that HK has kind of over everybody. They do lose capacity where that should, if it was another brand gun, it would probably be a 17-round magazine. But putting a full magazine in an HK is really effortless, you know, as far as with the slide closed, everything like that. So, but this one isn't bad. I mean, like I said, you can push in. It takes some force, but you don't have to jam it in to get it to seat. So it'll seat a full magazine fairly easily. So we'll shoot, like I said, 29 rounds of the Federal, and then we're going to load these other mags up. I'll top everything off with just ball ammo, and we'll go out there and we'll burn it up and see how she works. So stay tuned. We'll see you on the range. Alright guys, we're going to do some shooting with the Smith & Wesson 2.0, and what we're going to do is load up some ball ammunition here first. We're going to burn through these magazines. We got right about 90 rounds total is what we'll put through it. I think so. Practice from a draw position. I'm just going to come out slow. I'm going to try to see as far as accuracy goes. I haven't been shooting iron sights in a long time. This is a new trigger for me, so I'm going to do the best I can. Don't laugh. We're probably about 8 yards away. So we're going to put some on steel and just kind of see, run it through real slow, just kind of get a feel for the gun and the trigger. good on that. And that's just 115 grain cheap stuff here. Check this out. Safety on, like I said, and I'm not opposed to a good safety, especially like a 1911 style safety or position. Like I said, I carried one for quite a while. I'm used to, my draw stroke where I place my thumb out high on the gun when it comes out. So when it comes out, my thumb's over the safety, and I shoot a high thumbs with a safety gun. So once my hands meet and I push out, my thumbs go forward, it deactivates it. So if you have that kind of grip, then your chances of coming out and getting on target and having the safety still on is pretty minimal. I can't remember ever doing it with that grip. If you're kind that wants to flap a safety off and put your thumb underneath it, then there's a high probability that at one point you'll come out and not deactivate the safety. So like I said, for now I'm going to keep the safety on the gun, work a little bit, see how I feel about it, and I got the parts to change it if I don't like it. But like I said, right there is good. As long as I got a nice shelf to rest my thumb on, push kind of down on the gun, it'll work out. So right there it seemed pretty good. Seemed good. I had one little flyer to the left there. Not too bad, but definitely my mistake. Got another mag of 15 here. That was good. Like I said, from a kind of, I don't want to say a Glock fanboy, but I always revert back to Glock. Seems like when I'm carrying, they just work. They feel good. They're easy to conceal. Like I said, I'm not opposed to another brand of gun. I usually try to carry it, but I usually end up going back to Glock. So I'm gonna hopefully carry this gun. So I'm gonna work towards it. I'm gonna put some rounds to it. I want to get about 250, 300 through it before I start carrying it. But then I'm gonna try to dedicate a couple months to it and not go back to a Glock, not shoot a Glock, and try to dedicate to the platform and see what kind of results I get. And at that point, I'll probably make the decision whether to send it off to have it RMR'd or not at that point. So we're gonna, like I said, kind of an ongoing trial here. But so far so good. I mean, it's got a nice recoil impulse. The trigger's definitely workable. I'm interested to see what that Apex is going to do in it. But it's not a bad trigger. If I didn't order that kit, I wouldn't feel, like there's something really lacking in the trigger. It just does feel different than a Glock trigger with that extreme hook to it, that curve. But it's something you could, I'm sure, train to and not be a factor at that point. So this is the 17 round mag with the little grip extension it comes with, and this gives you a full grip. And actually, that feels pretty good. I mean, it gives your pinky just a little something more right there to grip to. So like I said, it would print more if you're concealed carrying, but it'd be a cool backup option. If I could carry a 17 round backup though, I probably won't carry the sleeve. Heard the horror stories, those kind of slipping down and wanting to catch and getting hard in the gun. So if I do carry that, I won't carry it with the sleeve as a backup. That wasn't too bad. I did pull another one to the left a little bit. I shot a couple of those low, but one when I was stroking the trigger, when I was shooting a little slower, I noticed I did kind of jerk and get that to the left just a little bit. So what we're going to do the last two mags is the Federal 115 grain high shock ammo. This one's a 14 round magazine, and that's coming from a Glock guy. You always download them one in the gun or the backup, just so they're easier to get in for a fast mag change if the slide's closed. That's just typically how I do it. So I always lose a round on a Glock when I carry. You can tell that's a little stouter, recoil wise or whatever. Not bad though, but you can feel a little bit, and it seems like it has a little more percussion to it when it goes off, or maybe a little more flame I'm catching. My vision as it's going off, and I'm just kind of taking shots, getting a gross second sight picture and squeezing the trigger. So obviously this isn't for accuracy at this point, but it's holding a good pattern, at least an acceptable pattern. I would say at 8 yards or so. Probably as pretty close to as I shoot a Glock at that speed. It does feel pretty controllable under the recoil. One of those I pulled way off, came back, it didn't the reset didn't feel right, I missed it, started to go again, and kind of punched it. So one of those I shot way off, and that was definitely my bad on that one. Nothing to do with the gun. But gun ran good. That was, like I said, almost 90 rounds. Had good ejection, good feeding, locked back every time. With the HK, I have a tendency to ride the slide release with my grip, and probably 4 out of 10 times I don't get slide locked. And that's not the gun, it's me, it's my grip. But I hate trying to have to relearn a grip for a gun. This particular one, I can run it just like I run a 1911, the same grip, you know, up on the safety, and it completely clears the slide lock. And I got slide locked back with every magazine. So that's definitely a plus for me. Like I said, because I'm not really willing to change my grip for a gun. I'll have to change the gun to my grip, kind of thing, I guess you'd say. But right out of the box, I didn't lube it. I didn't do anything with it. Just came out here and shot it. 90 rounds, it ran good, ran hollow points good. Seemed real controllable. Like I said, me stuttering that trigger is what led to bad accuracy. And I think once I get used to it, or definitely once I change to the Apex and get used to that, I should say, there's no use really learning this if I'm not gonna be the trigger I'm gonna carry with it. But with the Apex, I'll do some more working with it, get some rounds down range, get used to where that reset point is and all that kind of good stuff. Learn the trigger, and then I'll probably carry this for a couple months. Between this and the HK, I'm gonna try to go Glock free for a couple months, just to see if I can get away from the platform, which doesn't seem like I ever can. But we'll give it a try. So I want to bring you guys the first shots, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Solid little pistol, fits hand good, good stippling. Definitely workable trigger. It's, you know, I've definitely shot worse. Something if like I said, come from another platform, you're gonna have to get used to that trigger movement. It does feel a little different, but not bad, just different. So, you know, learning curve, just something you guys will have to learn if you do pick one up and you've never shot one before. So other than that, guys, I just want to bring that to you. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.